If you've ever found yourself facing incredible success or things just working out beautifully for you, you hit the sales revenue you wanted to hit, you got the promotion you wanted, you finally met the love of your life, but you can't fully lean into it for fear that it's not going to last, it's going to be taken away, or worse, that it's not real, this episode is for you. That experience of joy, feeling scary, is commonly referred to as foreboding joy. And Brene Brown, who's a social worker and a researcher, popularized this term in her book Daring Greatly, which I recommend that everyone gets. It's such a good read. And she links this fear to vulnerability. She says that joy is most difficult feelings for us to allow ourselves to experience because when we do, we open ourselves up to the possibility of pain, right? We become vulnerable. And this is linked to both scarcity and safety, right? It's this idea that joy is unsustainable, right? That there isn't enough joy, almost like there's a limited supply of joy, which is untrue. And then it's also linked to safety. It's this idea of, is joy really safe? Can I fully let my guard down and allow myself to be engulfed in and by this feeling? So what do? We hold our breath in the face of incredible things because we don't want to be blindsided by hurt. In other words, we don't allow ourselves to experience joy because we're going too afraid that it is going to hurt. Just gonna have to take a deep breath there. We're afraid that joy hurts. Let's just get something really clear here. No one likes to experience pain. Like, who likes to be hurt? No one. But that's not my point here. My point is that we have got to get curious about our views and our beliefs around pain. And maybe then, perhaps, we can actually allow ourselves to experience joy like fully. I believe it's important to have a relationship with pain and hurt because guess what, y'all? It is a part of life. And even more so when you lead with intention and purpose. The hard truth is that you're going to get hurt. You're going to experience pain. If you love, for real, if you lead with your heart, you're going to experience the other side of that same coin. You can't have one without the other. And I think that we really struggle as a society, culturally. I think we really struggle with accepting that and that just things are nuanced, right? That they have texture, that things are not just so black and white. When you're not aware of this truth, what do? You hustle, you work overtime at staying on the hamster wheel, trying to achieve the next goal, unable to fully take in your accomplishments and the fruits of your labor. And you also then end up hustling and working overtime and not getting got or not being hurt. You become hyper vigilant, constantly worrying if what you're seeing and experiencing is true. Hashtag gaslighting. If you have missed a step somewhere, you're wondering, right? Like, are people's intentions real? Y'all, that's a lot of work. It's so exhausting. And the thing about hypervigilance is that it has a cost. The cost that you pay when you're hypervigilant is your presence. You can't be present to the life that's in front of you, right? You become so distracted that you miss the miracles, you miss the blessings, you miss all of the wonderful things that are right in front of you. The other reason why we work overtime at avoiding pain is that it can bubble this feeling of shame. I think that in our culture, we shame woundedness. We really struggle with this idea that we're going to be wounded. We're going to experience pain. We're going to experience hurt. There's this meaning attached to it, almost that we are bad, like you are bad if somehow you experience pain or you become wounded, that you're negligent or that you're careless. And that's wild. It is wild to think of the ways in which we are groomed to be so unkind to ourselves, showing such little grace for our humanness. It's actually dehumanizing. I don't want to get too off topic here because I do want to highlight something. I think that people sometimes think that having a relationship with pain or any emotion that is culturally sanctioned as bad, like anger, sadness, means that you enjoy it or that you welcome it. No. Having a relationship with pain does not mean that you like it. It means that you recognize its utility. You recognize that it has wisdom and information for you. You recognize that it's a part of life. And that, my friends, is radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is not living in our fantasies about how we want things to be or how we want people to be, but having the courage to see the reality in front of you, to see what's in front of you, accept it for what it is, and being in that. That's actually how we lessen our suffering. If you're someone who wants to develop your relationship with pain or hurt, I want to invite you, gift you a stance that you can take, a question that you can reflect on, and a reframe. So, the stance that I invite you to take in the face of pain or hurt or any experience or situation that just does not feel good, I'm going to experience pain. It's not a commentary on me. It doesn't say anything about me or my ability to protect myself. What it does mean is that whatever context I experienced pain or hurt mattered to me. What mattered to me and the pain that is bubbling up is worth exploring. When it happens, not if, when, I am going to be okay. So that's a stance that I invite you to take in the face of pain or hurt. The question that I want to invite you to reflect on is, what does my self trust look like? Have I done the work to become inner resourced so that I can experience ease even through the struggle? So that I can experience love even when I'm experiencing pain? Have I done the work to have me, right? This idea of I got me. Have I done the work and cultivated a community that got me? Really asking yourself, do I feel resourced enough? Do I trust myself to be able to sit through, face whatever life brings my way? And the reframe that I want to gift you and invite you to think about is that when you experience pain or hurt in business with a business partner, your clients, partnerships, right? Like amorous hurt, platonic relationships, family, like whatever the case is, I want to invite you to use this reframe. Instead of making it a commentary about you and who you are and what you did and what you didn't do, I want to invite you to think about it like this. I showed up vulnerably, open, with my heart, lovingly, honoring whatever commitment we had made to each other. And for whatever reason, that has nothing to do with me. You didn't know how to, you didn't want to, you weren't willing to handle that with care. I'd like to close out with this. Wherever you are on the spectrum of your relationship to pain and your experience of joy and whatever your feelings are when it comes to allowing yourself to experience joy, I want you to know that you make sense. All of this makes sense. Being afraid of experiencing joy is not wrong or irrational. It is a function of our history, of our society, of our culture, of the inheritance in this country and the world, really, especially if you come from a lineage of colonization and violence and harm, which is global, right? That's not just exclusive to the United States. And this is the work, folks. Foreboding joy is a survival strategy. And I want you to know that you have choice here. You can replace that survival strategy with something that is more helpful and is going to help you cultivate and walk towards the life and legacy you want to have. That's all for now. I'll see y'all next week.